Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all those who identify as otherwise, and welcome back to the Irate Alex YouTube channel. Now, today I am speaking on something that I had originally and initially planned to do as a video rather than a live stream, but as I was sat here thinking about how exactly to word everything that I wanted to say, I felt maybe perhaps that it may be better just to have it come out plain and raw and kind of go off a few notes here and there. I wanted to do my final MS diary, my final multiple sclerosis diary. For those of you who have been around since Feb 2020, you'll know that I have done a couple of these to speak on my journey, because everyone's on a journey, aren't they? In life, I suppose. Sorry, excuse me. And I figured, why not kind of do the last one, because things have changed. Things have changed immeasurably in my life, and I figured, why not do a last one? If I speak about it, if I talk from the very beginning, if I walk and talk through all the challenges, maybe perhaps somebody may see it, they may take something from it, they may learn something from it, they may even be inspired by it, or they just maybe won't feel as alone, but just by simply watching the video after it's been done here. I don't know, but I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to do one last one, because quite frankly, I'm sick of talking about it at the end of the day. I just this is my way of achieving true acceptance by what the fuck have I done to OBS? What have I done? There we go. Am I coming through quiet? I will turn myself up a smidgen, just a little bit. There we go. I haven't streamed properly for a while, so some of my settings may be a little bit off. I hope that I'm coming across loud enough for most of you to hear me anyway. Hello to everyone who is watching this live. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. I decided to do this as a members-only stream. Obviously, once it's done, anyone and everyone will be able to comment on it if they so wish. There is a reason why I've set it to a members-only stream. And it's not just because I'm a dirty, filthy whore. I don't want certain people turning up in the chat during this, as I would like to be able to speak plainly and without interruption. So anyway, let me get on with this, shall we? Let me get this out of my system, and then we can have a bit of a chinwag with those who are watching this live. Some of you who are listening, or watching live, or watching this after it's been uploaded, know that in 2020, February, I was on my 4 days off from work. I used to work with the homeless. I used to kind of like be like a nighttime support worker. It had a level of security to it as well, but I don't really need to go into the details there. It was a great job. It was a wonderful job. I loved it. It really suited me. It was one of the... After, you have to understand the gravity behind that job. I had struggled since leaving the Navy in 2011 to keep a job. And I had gone through job after job after job after job. And I'd even lost a job in 2016, I think it was, because of my health. So, I started doing the whole YouTube thing to kind of deal with the depression and kind of deal with the issues that comes with being at home due to bad health and things of that nature. So the fact that I had found something that suited me, that fit my temperament very well, that meant something to me, and it did mean a lot to me. After all, I knew that I was helping people. I was helping people with addiction. I was helping people with heroin addictions. I was helping people with various drug and alcohol problems, and people who had come from horrific backgrounds whose stories were just fucking awful. It meant a lot to me, And the shifts that I used to do were wonderful. I used to do 4 nights on, and then I'd have 4 days off. I was able to balance pretty much everything in life almost perfectly. And for the first time in years and years and years, I didn't have to plummet myself into debt at Christmas time just to make sure that my boys had a good Christmas. And so that was a wonderful feeling. It was a wonderful time for me. And then in Feb 2020, as I was putting my son to bed on one of my 4 nights off, something happened. My face started drooping ever so slightly to one side, and my speech became slurred, and I'd been dealing with extreme levels of dizziness all day and didn't really understand what was going on. I had been putting it down to my ADHD medication, because if you take that and you don't eat, well, you do get dizziness symptoms. And as you know, ADHD medication does tend to suppress one's appetite. Within a couple of minutes, the strength had left most of my body, and I didn't really know what the fuck was going on. I struggled to get back down the stairs again, and when I did get down the stairs, I couldn't really walk very well. So I sat down. Now, VB called the non-emergency NHS helpline, and they thought I was having a TIA, aka a mini stroke, and they sent out a emergency paramedic team, and they started doing several tests on me, if you will, when they did arrive. Squeezing hands and pushing and pulling them and things like that, basically, whilst I was sat down. I couldn't squeeze the guy's hands. I couldn't really push him, and I couldn't really do a lot of what he was saying. But it was obvious that I wasn't having a stroke. 3 days later, I took myself to hospital, and they did a CT scan on me, and they realized that there was something wrong. There was something deeply wrong going on inside my head. And it's funny because the surgeon who I spoke to even said that this looks like multiple sclerosis. Of course, you can't diagnose it as simply as that. You can't. The diagnosis is a long, drawn-out and rather unpleasant situation to go through, but it is necessary. So 2 weeks later, I had been booked in for an emergency MRI, and they did the scan. They injected me with the dye, and they found lesions on my brain. And so the diagnosis process had begun. Now, in order to diagnose MS, what you need to do is you need to have 2 MRIs, roughly 6 months apart from each other, to measure damage done to your central nervous system, brain, and spine. And if there is an increase, then that's one of the telltale signs. And the other thing that they do is they have to take a sample of your spinal fluid. I have never seen a needle that big in my life. But that was completely fine, I didn't mind that at all. It was very professionally done. It was just, there's nothing quite like rolling up into a ball on your side whilst somebody stabs you in the spine with a needle that is very friggin' long. But, they had used, anesthetic creams and things of that nature. And I got to spend the next day and a half drinking lots of Monsters, would you believe? Because you get an incredible headache after this kind of thing. They actually tell you to consume butt tons of caffeine. And so I got to lay in bed drinking Monsters for the next 2 days. But so that was done, and lo and behold, when I finally got the results back, I walked straight away. I walked out afterwards. It was no issue. The guy was very, very good. He was very, very good. He was very reassuring. He was very kind. Probably one of the more kind and nicer individuals that I had actually met during this entire diagnostic process, to be honest with you. But anyway, when the results finally came back, and they did take a while, they found the protein bands, the CSF protein bands in the fluid. And when I went for my second MRI, lo and behold, the damage had increased and the lesions had started appearing on my spine as well as my brain. You know, the annoying thing is that I have seen the first scan, but not the second. I would have loved to have seen it, but anyway. So I finally received my phone call months and months later. And of course, this is after being medically discharged from my job. Now, the weight of that hit me a lot harder than I admitted at the time. 100%. Yeah, I do have a picture of them stabbing me in the spine, by the way. Yeah, I did post it to Instagram. Hello, Eddie, as well. And hello to everyone else in the chat right now. I'm just going through the story of everything, and then I'll speak to you guys after I've gone through the whole MS diary stuff. I'd been medically discharged from my job, I think in the August time, if memory serves, and I was gutted. I was well and truly gutted. It was a job that I had wanted. It's a job that I had gone for the year before. It's a job that provided balance to me for the first time in 9 years at that point, and I didn't realize the weight of this at the time. It didn't hit me. Unfortunately, I have never claimed to be a smart person. I've never claimed to be an intelligent person, and I'm certainly not an emotionally intelligent person either. I have a bad habit of becoming a ticking time bomb when it comes to things like that, because like a lot of men, I don't deal with shit. I just kind of brush it off. I tried to brush it off. I tried to continue doing what I had always done. And that was a mistake. And I will sit here and be honest with you all. I lied to all of you, you know. I lied to all of you. You may remember that I uploaded a video back in 2020 called Acceptance. And if memory serves, I believe, I can't remember, but I can't remember whether I uploaded it before or after the diagnosis. I didn't accept it. And I didn't know the extent of psychological damage that this had actually done to me, as well as physical, obviously. I've been caught in a fucking lie. I lied to you guys. I lied to you. I thought that I had accepted it. I thought that I was stronger than I actually was. This was not true. This was not true. Is it? I don't know if it's a lie if you do it unknowingly or not, because I thought that I had accepted it, but I hadn't. But I suppose it's still a lie, isn't it? It's still incorrect. Only now, over 2.5 years later, have I actually achieved what I believe to be acceptance. Now, I do want to apologize. Not to the people that I have offended, but rather to the people that I lashed out at. So, and as many of you know, especially those who were in the Discord back then, you'll know that I lashed out at many of you. And thank you for everyone who became a channel member, including you, Shadow. Acceptance is the final stage of grief, isn't it? And I didn't understand that. It's funny because I had been through grief. I lost my father years ago, and I had gone through grief, but it's a different type of grief, and it's an internal struggle that you don't even realize it. And I really wish that I had, but I do want to apologize and say sorry, and I am sorry to all those people that I unnecessarily and unjustifiably lashed out at. Not all of you, because some of you deserved it. Some of you fucking did deserve it. But there are some people that I lashed out at, that I took shit out on without even realizing it a lot of the time. And I also want to apologize to those people that have tried to check up on me. A lot of content creators apologize for like not uploading and stuff like that, but I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm not going to sit here and say sorry that I have barely been uploading for the last 2 years, that I have barely been providing content. In fact, the last video the last proper video that I uploaded was done 6 months ago, wasn't it? And I just felt like I couldn't carry on. I'm not going to apologize for not uploading, but I am going to apologize to those people who have been supporters, who have been wonderful supporters, who have, who are patrons or channel members, like not just those people, but those people who actually checked up on me, those people that just were there, that offered to listen to me, and that I ignored. I ignored a lot of you. I ignored a lot of those people. I don't know why. I still can't really explain that one to you. For the longest time, I just felt like I had to just hide away and just kind of not talk to anybody about anything, and just kind of play video games and not really get involved or anything else like that. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, I have involved myself in the drama and stuff like that, and I was absolutely justified in what I did and what I said during all of that. But I will absolutely admit to you that I let that shit go on for too long and kind of used it as a crutch almost. But I have learned a lot, and I feel personally that I have grown a lot. I had to acknowledge, after speaking to a neuropsychiatrist, that I had minor depressive disorder, teetering on major depressive disorder, and that I had to go back on the antidepressants. I'm not too proud to say that. And now I self-inject myself with a drug called Kesimpta at the beginning of every month that staves off any further relapses or anything else. I accept the fact that I have relapse-remitting multiple sclerosis, but that everyone who has MS has it differently. One man's MS is another person's struggle, as it were. A lot of people with relapse-remitting, they have their relapse, they go through a period of disability, and then they recover, and then they're able to live their life with no pain and no symptoms. But not everyone with relapse-remitting MS is so lucky, and unfortunately, I am one of those people. My version of a remission is what I have now, which is the fatigue and the pain, the nerve pain, and that sometimes there are entire months when I cannot physically sit in this chair for longer than 4 hours without being in so much fucking pain that I have to just I have to lay down and go to sleep. I have been learning to manage myself better and better and better, and I'm still getting there. I'm still learning. Life is a learning curve, and MS is certainly a learning curve. I'm still learning. I'm still learning to manage myself. I'm still learning to manage my antisocialness as well. I used to be a very vocal person. I used to spend a lot of time talking to people in VCs and interacting with people on social media and whatnot. But I'm getting there. I am slowly getting back into that kind of person. But I have made some changes. Most of you know that my Twitter is now gone. I deleted my Twitter. Yeah, I miss you too, Dax. I miss you too, dude. And my brother's in the chat there. How are you, man? How are you? Oh, God, don't... I've also noticed another thing as well. Since learning and attaining that acceptance, I've become a very, very different person. As I said on Twitter the other day before I deleted it, I have been tempered by MS. MS has been a benefit to me in some ways, I am far more patient now than I have ever been. Like, disgustingly, offensively patient now. I have true temperance now. I'm able to stop and think before I do something stupid most of the time. I'm able to consider something from different perspectives. I'm able to learn now. One of the things that I came to realize, and this is something that happened earlier on this year, and I tell you what, it was a very painful experience to actually sit down and realize, oh my fucking God, there are so many things that I was wrong about. As Irate Bear, I was Irate Bear for 3 years. It was a completely different channel, and I made political content. And I sat down and I started listening to the other side, and I started listening to objective truth. And I started, even though a lot of it was a lot of screaming and screeching, I sat down and I rewatched a lot of stuff that I had made commentary videos on years ago and realized I didn't listen and that I was wrong about a lot of fucking things. And one of the best examples I can give you from that, and what to explain the best meaning, you guys all remember Big Red, right? Chanty Binks? The mere mention of that's going to set Dax off. You remember that? The redhead angry feminist that interrupted the men's rights group out in the street? You remember that video? Like, that woman's face was just pure clickbait. We all remember that video where she's having a go at them. Yeah, see, Dax isn't happy. But I remember watching that video, and then I watched it again recently. And have you guys actually listened to the shit that she was saying in that video? Because I can look back now and go, oh shit, I didn't listen. I just kind of saw the red hair and the screeching and... oh boy. Now, I'm not saying by any means that I've become some kind of, hyper progressive leftist. Of course not. But there are things that she was saying that I actually agreed with back then. And had I actually listened to her, then I would have never have responded to her. You know what I mean? Like, there are things that she was saying about, like, family court and men's rights and men's issues and things like that I used to get really angry about. I used to get fucking angry when it came to anything to do with men's rights. I was an angry motherfucker. Just how I used to get over the whole abortion argument, when I was pro-life. But if you go back and listen to her, she's actually saying some pretty common sense, sensical things that a lot of people in this chat would agree with. Would you believe that she was advocating for a more egalitarian family court style? It was things like that, And I sat down, and there were other channels that I started listening to, and that were talking about the American politics that I had been talking about. That had been talking about the history of various things. And I think that I can well and truly thank Multiple Sclerosis for allowing me to sit back and actually listen. I actually sit back and listen now. I'm a lot calmer than I used to be. Another aspect that I wanted to talk about. There was a time when if you reached out to me to talk to me about the whole MS thing, and I actually sat you down, I actually sat with you and spoke to you, I would get angry. In fact, I remember not physically being able to read the information pamphlets that I had on MS. I couldn't read them. I couldn't read about the medications. I couldn't read the PDF that one of my own mods, Trez, had sent to me about MS and how to manage myself. I couldn't physically read it. I couldn't read the forums on the MS Society website. I couldn't do any of it. And if I did, my phone would get launched across the bedroom, because I'd be in bed, reading my phone, going through different forums and looking for an answer that I already knew what it was. I spent so long trying to look for an answer. I used to go through article after article after article. looking for a different answer. And I'd always end up throwing my phone across the room, smashing it against the wall. Hell, I remember one night getting so angry that I jumped out of bed and I just, after throwing my phone at the wall, I went to punch the fucking wall, you know? I lashed out. But in that moment, I had also forgotten two things. That one, MS had stripped me of all of my strength. And two, MS had also stripped me of my ability to remain on 2 feet when moving at speed, with taking away my levels of balance. So when I hit the wall, I literally bounced off of it, landed on my ass, and then bounced off the floor. And I remember sitting there, like, not even crying, just like, well, that was fucking stupid, wasn't it? And, I would sit here and happily admit to you guys, like, the mental aspect of things, I refuse to face them. The amount of times that I would just be sat there and I would start crying. There'd be no reason for it at all. There'd be nothing to set me off. I wasn't watching anything. I'd just be playing a video game. And I wasn't even losing, Yeah, gravity always does win. It does. It does. And through this entire period, just like every other fucking turbulent period in my life, I ended up losing friends and having ridiculous internalized dramas and external dramas, and it was insane, I was teetering on borderline becoming a fucking lolcow, around this time, especially in 2020, especially back then, because I couldn't control my shit anymore. I could not handle my business at all. But over time, I learnt that it's okay, and I know it's somewhat of a cliche, but being kind to oneself is important with these things. It really is. I stopped caring about YouTube, and even now I don't really care, as I said on the community tab post, but we'll get to that. J Kid is correct when he says that. MS has brought pain and discomfort, but also patience, self-reflection, and a scooter. Mobility Alex. And I tell you what, the scooter, the scooter is something that had to be added to the acceptance too, I hated it. And when it comes to the whole acceptance thing, I've accepted the MS, but I've not truly accepted the scooter. Whenever I'd go out on it, I think, why are these fuckers looking at me? I bet they think I'm faking. Why are they giving me dirty looks for? What the fuck are you looking at? Why are you staring at me for? Because that's the thing with MS, is it's invisible for the most part. And I still do get quite angry with the whole scooter thing, but I'm not as bothered as I used to be by it. I knew there were people that were looking at me. There were people that were giving me dirty looks. There were people that were literally looking down upon me. And I tell you what, I used to get a lot angry about it then than what I do now. But the scooter has been a benefit. It has. It has been a massive, massive benefit to me. Even though it still has still a little bit of anger. It has a Texas sticker on it and everything. There's another aspect to this. Whenever I would start, it used to be very easy to set me off on what I call a cycle, a mental cycle, especially if I started talking about the MS. If I talked about it, or if something upset me, or if someone had a go at me about something, usually for something that I felt like I probably couldn't do anything about, I would begin my cycle, and I would repeat everything that I've said today, but without the positivity. I'm very positive about MS now. But back, it wasn't even that long ago. I'd go into the massive cycle. I tell you what, my entire night would be ruined. And it still happens now, but it doesn't last anywhere near as long. Back then, I'd start going round in circles. I'd be like, well, 9 years. It took me 9 years to get a job that I actually liked and was good at. And then I lost that job, and then I lost this, and I lost that. And I've been treated like this and treated like that. And I would go around in circles, and I'd start looking for that answer again. The answer that I already knew. It's one of the most infuriating. It's exactly the same as when I first ever dealt with depression years ago. When I used to lean on people too fucking hard. It's exactly the same thing. I was looking for an answer that I already knew the answer to that question. What do I do now? How do I live life now? How do I change things now? But I already know the answers to all of these things. I very slowly learned to accept everything. I've learned to accept that I'm always going to be in pain. And that it is a sad and brutal fact of life that nerve blockers and things like that, they just do not work on me. And that's fine, because I'd rather be in pain than allow a prescription drug to slowly destroy my insides or fuck with my head in any way, shape, or form. I need to feel it, and I need to be there and in the moment at all times. I will be okay, Matt. I will be okay. The financial issues and the economy issues that we're having over here in the UK I will be fine. I will survive. That I can promise you. Yeah, J-Kid, that was always my issue. I've for those who know me personally, you know that I've always been a control freak. For those who have ever collaborated with me on YouTube will know that I'm a control freak. I always have been. It's what happens when you're a 30-odd-year-old male who never dealt with his daddy issues. Dearie me, but yeah, I know, right? And MS took away my control. It took away so much from me in a single fucking moment. But it's okay. Shut up, you lot. Stop calling me out. It took away my control, and I didn't deal with that very well at all. But now I accept it. I accept the pain. I accept that some days are going to be so bad that I need to use my crutches inside my own house. Because in my house, I don't have to use my crutches in my house because there's always something for me to land on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and, walking from one end to the other is not an issue because I can sit down. There's something to sit on. And thank you for for everyone for becoming channel memberships today. Well, to be fair, Frank, by that stage, I was just trying to get back into it. And I will speak about the channel, I will speak about the content and other things shortly. Just let me kind of get past this stuff, please. I've become, as I said, I've become a lot more patient. I've become a lot more tempered and calm and a lot less controlling. I've accepted the pain. I've accepted that. Well, I'll give you an example. The last 2 weeks, I have not been able to physically stand sitting in my chair at my computer for longer than 4 hours. In fact, the other day, I hit a new record. I only managed to do 3.5 before I had to go and sit down and lay down and sleep. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes I'm awake for days. Although the sleeping thing is far more prevalent in my life. I've been sleeping so much lately, but it's a fact of life. Fatigue and pain and that confusion, which is by far my worst symptom, is going to happen. Confusion is by far the scariest thing to me personally. I would rather have, because there are lots of symptoms to MS, right? And I don't experience them all, My penis still works, you know. I can still, you know, I can still go toilet without, you know, a piss bag, you know. I don't shit myself. I don't have seizures, even though I did think I was having seizures for a very long time, but no, it was actually sleep paralysis. Yeah, naps are fucking fire, but I have taken control of everything, but I can't control certain things, and that's fine. I've learned to accept that. The confusion, however, is a symptom that I despise and hate, and I don't really know how to deal with that one yet, to be honest with you. But when it happens, I am able to be very calm. Confusion is very scary. I will be honest with you all. It's very, very fucking... It genuinely terrifies me. It happened around 2 weeks ago, I think it was now. I got up and I knew from the moment that I woke up that something was wrong because I was dizzy from the second I got up and that my legs were wibbling and wobbling a lot more than they normally do first thing in the morning. So what I decided to do, I was like, right, I'll tell you what, I filled the bath up and I'll sit in it for just a little bit, you know, kind of get the heat in the muscles, you know, just kind of, you know, sit in there, kind of, you know, warm myself up a bit, then, you know, kind of, you know, maybe stretch off and stuff like that, get moving and grooving. And there's nothing better than doing that kind of thing naked. And then it happened again. It's not the fucking first time. But when it happened, it's like, how can I best describe this? It's like sleepwalking, or it's like a daydream, but you're asleep whilst you're awake. It's the best way for me to describe it. I found myself staring at the inside wall of the bathtub, and I don't know how long I was there for. That was scary to me. I don't know how long I was there for. I can't remember what was going through my head. I can't remember the thoughts that were going through my head. I can't remember what it is that I was dreaming about. It was like I was asleep, but sat up, very wrinkly. And the thing is, you know what else kind of gets me, Frank, about MS? You know what MS did? And I'm going to speak in gaming terms for a quick second. MS gave me plus 10 cold resistance, minus 30 heat resistance. Because sometimes, ladies and gents, I don't know when I'm cold. And I have literally been sat in the bathtub in cold water without knowing that the water was cold. And the heat issue is a problem. I am so sensitive to fucking heat that there are ways and means that I get around that kind of thing. You know, I drink like ice water and stuff like that. I walk around half naked, that kind of thing, you know, without a t-shirt on and everything else to try and keep myself cool. Windows are open, fans are on, that type of deal. But fuck me, like if I heat myself up too much in the shower or the bathtub, I'm basically building myself up to have a bad time. Heat fucks with MS in a way that I cannot truly explain to you. Heat fucks me really hard without the common courtesy of giving me a reach around. Summertime is now the enemy. And I don't feel the cold nearly as much anymore. And it's pretty interesting because I can't really describe the cold anymore to you because I know when my body is cold. But, like, you know when you're cold? During winter time, and where you're like, I don't want to get out of bed because it's cold, right? And you have that urgency about yourself where it's like, quickly get up, get in the shower, quickly get dressed, get warm, have a hot coffee, have a hot cup of tea, have a soup. With me, I feel the cold and I know that I'm cold, but there's no urgency at all. Because it's just not there. I just don't feel it. Like, there's no panicking to it anymore. There's like, I will climb out of bed naked and be just like, okay. Like, I know that my body's cold, but I just don't care anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, roger that, J Kid. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or maybe gain some weight, J Kid. Oh, dearie me. Oh yeah, I know. Sitting in cold, and this is why I started having like cold baths and shit and cold showers and things. Especially during the summertime. And I won't, I won't even allow myself to have any heat at all. I'll just hit in it. And don't get me wrong, it can shock me. Being hit with cold water can absolutely still shock me if I'm not ready for it. But I can stand it a lot better than most people can, and I get used to it a lot faster. But I used to get back to the topic at hand. I used to get very upset and very depressed, and I used to cycle a great deal and go on and on and on about what I had lost. And I may still do that from time to time, but what used to last 8 to 12 hours lasts less than 15 minutes now. And that's a big deal for me. That the fact that I can see my own growth is very, very rewarding. Very rewarding. I still have my bad days, and I know that I have my bad days. And that I know that one day I very well could develop secondary progressive MS, which is the next step along, which is far worse than what I have. But so be it, I suppose. So be it, I guess. Yeah, seriously, there are actual like legit benefits to having cold baths and showers and stuff every day. There are like legit, like seriously, look it up. I'm just a lot better now, but I'm not. But during this time, I've been away from YouTube. I've been away from YouTube for a very long time, and whilst I have streamed here and there, and whilst I've, I kind of learned to pack my shit in, and I started doing the docu content, which did incredibly well, and then I stopped. And that is, I think I stopped, and I stopped streaming, and I stopped making the videos, and not because the love was gone of making the content, not because I wasn't interested in earning any money from doing this, but simply because I just wasn't capable of doing it. I had reached a point where I just couldn't do it anymore. And so I have been slowly taking steps to take back aspects of my life and trying to give myself a different perspective on everything that I do. YouTube has been a very big part of my life now since 2016, but for the last 2 years, I have just not really been truly present, I no longer care about the views and the subs and stuff. Like, obviously, like, you guys are awesome. Like, you sat here, you're listening to me go on and on and on about this, but I used to be obsessive over that kind of thing. I used to be jealous, envious, spiteful about it as well. For YouTube used to very much be an ego thing for me, but now it doesn't bother me anymore. The fact that I uploaded that SCP video that I uploaded 2 years ago to a new channel which the vast majority of you watching did not know about. And you have to understand, I was scared to upload that. Even to the channel with no subscribers 2 years ago, I was scared to upload that video. Mainly because I was worried about offending the SCP community. And as you know, I love SCP and I love the SCP community. But I uploaded it the other day, well, a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? And it did shit. And I don't care. It doesn't even have 700 views. And I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I no longer give a shit about, like, the views and the money aspect and the subs and the ego part of it. That's why my Twitter is gone now. Twitter is... I came to realize that Twitter was very much affecting me and actually amplifying my symptoms, making them worse. That I'd see something and it'd piss me off, and then I'd get in a fucking strop about it and then just not do anything. I mean, what's the fucking point? You know what I mean? What's the fucking point? My Twitter is gone. It is gone. You know, I have my post account, which I barely fucking use, you know, and that's it. And I started YouTube back in 2016 for a specific reason. I didn't start it for the money. I didn't start it because of my ego. It became about those things later on. But I started it because it was supposed to be a hobby, because it was supposed to be something that I was going to sit down and I was going to teach myself how to do, just like any hobby. You know, that is something that you go and you sit down and you learn how to do it and you invest your personal time into doing it, and it's something for you to focus on and have fun with. That is what YouTube used to be to me. But I lost my way along the way, didn't I? Very quickly, mind you. And it can't be that anymore. It can't be about the views and money and ego and dick swinging and peen measuring and all that bullshit. Because it's all fucking bullshit. None of it matters. None of it actually fucking matters. It just doesn't. Twitter doesn't matter. Fucking drama doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Don't get me wrong, drama can be fun. It can be enjoyable, but it don't matter, does it? Like, it doesn't affect you in the real world, for the most part, for some people anyway. It's certainly, you know, and at the end of the day, Twitter is a fucking cesspool of shit and piss. And all it does is just turn people into horrible cunts. And what's the point in that? You know, what is the fucking point? There's no point in any of it. And there's one thing that I've come to realize when it comes to MS. I have to manage myself. I have to manage a lot of everything that I do. And that includes the things that I choose to sit down and read. It's how I spend my time. If I allow any kind of, you know, unnecessary emotional fucking bullshit into my own head because I got too involved in the drama, you know, or I was reading too many comments, you know, or getting obsessed by it or whatever else, or responding to fucking people that will never actually learn their lesson on Twitter or whatever else, then all it does is harm me in the end. All it does is hurt me. And I'm not saying that to disparage anyone that covers drama or anything else like that. You know, drama's fun. You know, I enjoy it. I love giving people shit. You know, I love calling people out, but it's not for me anymore. It just isn't. None of this shit is for me anymore. I want to continue. I want to do YouTube differently now. I don't want to be on Twitter and get into fucking fights with people over shit when they're never going to learn the lessons and they're never going to change their mind. There is no point. All it does is hurt me. I don't want to do live streams where I sit here and go on and on and on and on and on about the same fucking person, thinking that it does anything, because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't. Like the whole DC neg shit, like what's the fucking point? You know? They're just going to sit there and make shit up and they're never going to learn their lesson. You know? And everyone else that's fucking jumping on that little bandwagon, even now, people just getting in, making shit up, not learning their lesson, acting like fucking lunatics, acting as if this shit is affecting them in the real world, acting as if this is important or something, acting as if calling out another content creator actually has any importance to it whatsoever, when it doesn't. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to talk about these people. It's fun to do the drama, of course it is. And yeah, it can absolutely benefit someone. I mean, fuck me, you know, like how many views, how many concurrent live viewers, you know, do drama streams get? You know, there are a lot. You know, people are into that shit. Of course they are. I'm not disparaging anyone for it either. I enjoy it. You know, I enjoy it too. I enjoy watching it. I enjoy doing it. But ultimately, it hurts me and it harms me. And that, for me as a content creator, what is best for me is to go back to making videos again, to actually making content about the things I want to make videos about and not give a single fuck about how it's going to do or worry about how people are going to respond to it. You know what I mean? Like, I used to care so intently about uniformity that I had created channel after channel after channel, and for fucking what? There's no point. It's all pointless. This is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be enjoyable. One of the things that I love doing the most is like anything that is true crime or fucking, you know, dark history, dark science, because it's interesting, it's fascinating. It's cool to learn. Like, to me, it's awesome to learn about something new, learn about something from history. Maybe learn something in the context of it being like an iceberg. I've never made an iceberg video, but I'd love to make one. And the whole point of an iceberg video is to talk about something and bring up new information that the vast majority of people won't know, you know? Yeah, I'm a very different boy now, Jacob. Yeah. He used to scold me a lot for telling you not to worry about it. Yeah. I know. It took me a long time to realize it. It took me a long time to realize a lot of things. I never claimed to be smart, okay? I'm a very slow learner. I had this conversation recently with a buddy that I am very slow, very dumb, and just very, like, I'm one of those people who just has to learn everything the fucking hard way. And that's okay. You know, everyone has one of them in their lives, you know, and I'm one of them. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Like Mel, don't worry about the views. I honestly, I don't care anymore. I really don't. All I have wanted to do for months now, actually, is to come back and just enjoy doing it again. And there are several reasons why I haven't. You know, I just wasn't ready. Now I feel like I'm ready, but I also need to acknowledge that there are some times that it's okay for me to start something and not necessarily finish it when I think I should finish it. That it's okay for something to take a little bit longer to make. That it's okay for me to spend, you know, that it's okay for me to just maybe one day spend an hour doing something and then not doing anything else. That as long as I'm doing something towards that one thing that I want to do, that's what matters, right? I want to go back to doing the dark history, the dark science stuff. I want to go back to doing the true crime and the horror cow documentaries. I want to do other things. There are things that I want to do that I've wanted to do for years, but just never did it because I felt like it had to be separated onto different channels, you know? And I just was like, well, I can't manage that, but fuck that. Like, I'm going to do it now. And if you watch it, then you watch it. If you don't, then you don't. I want to do like analysis of media. And not just of like movies or anime or even manga, but like online content, you know, like the very unique type of things that people make on YouTube, like Shed 17, for example. You know, I wouldn't even mind doing a read along on the channel, or a fucking I even want to do audiobook content on the channel. I genuinely want to do that. I want to bring back Lord Bear, and like I took Lord Bear away because too many people told me it was cringe, but I don't fucking care anymore. If you don't like Lord Bear, then don't watch it. Like, it's as simple as that. You know, there's so much that I want to fucking do, but I just never did it because I felt like I couldn't. But this is what I'm saying about me and MS and how MS has actually been a benefit to me. Because MS has kind of almost freed me from a lot of my own personal bullshit. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange how an autoimmune disease could probably bring more benefits to me and bring me more personal growth than 5 years in the Navy did. You know? Thank you for saying that, Addy. Yeah. Yeah. I want, again, I want to talk about things that I actually like and enjoy and do things differently. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do audiobook content. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want, you know? It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You know, I'm gonna do it in my style. I'm gonna talk about the horror stuff. Oh, what about Duke Dick? I don't know about Duke Dick. I don't know about, and of course, Mickey still wants me to speak about Madeleine McCann, which again, I still want to talk about the true crime stuff. Yeah, do whatever the fuck I want, J-Kid. You know, if people are gonna watch it, they're gonna watch it. If they're not, they're not. It's like. There are so many content creators that I absolutely adore and just I know I was sucking his dick on the community tab, but like Almighty Lolly, for example, he's just someone who does what the fuck he likes and he does it because he loves it, and it doesn't matter. Wendigoon is another one. He talks about whatever the fuck he likes. He does it in his own style and he doesn't give a shit. These are two people that are doing things that I've always wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like, why couldn't I do those things? You know? I don't want to be like them. I want to be like me. Because you guys know, I've always enjoyed my editing. I've always prided myself on editing and things. I just need to take things a bit slower. There's a reason why I got rid of the Patreon, guys. I got rid of Patreon a while ago as well. My Patreon's gone. My Twitter's gone. I have no need for these things. And it's not just, when it comes to Patreon, it's not because I don't like money. You know, everyone likes money. Of course they do. You know, I'm sure that, you know, I'll be able to make a few pennies doing what I'm doing or whatever. You know, people can become channel members if they so wish, you know. But, you know, I'm not shilling for things as hard as I used to. I'm probably not going to shill at all, to be honest. If people want to, then that is their choice at the end of the day. But I'm kind of going off topic here, so let me kind of get back to it. I am at a stage of life of true acceptance, but I also acknowledge that I am not 100% there. There are still things that I take issue with on a personal level. There are things like the scooter, for example, that I'm not 100% comfortable with, but that's okay. There are days when I'm completely fine with it. You know what I mean? Oh, fuck me, what have I done? Oh, God, what have I done? I just accidentally hit spacebar. I think I may have paused the stream. Not that it matters. I've not got anything up there right now, but I have grown and matured. And as I said, I want to say it again. For all those people that I lashed out at, for no reason, I'm not talking about the people that fucking deserved it, because there were people who 100% deserved it. But again, I am truly sorry to those who I lashed out at. Even the ones that were just simply trying to help. I am sorry for that. And I'm very sorry to all those people that I have ignored for months and months and months and months as well. You know, there was no need for that, but I can't explain that one to you. That one is very difficult for me to actually explain. I would just simply take responsibility and acknowledge that I didn't treat everybody as I should have. You know what I mean? I've typically treated everyone the same, and that's not what I've been doing. Thank you, Shadow, for the 69th like, and hello, Savannah, as well. But the MS and stuff, it's there, it's a thing. I accept it. I have to just continue learning and continue growing and continue figuring out how to manage myself and continue ensuring that I'm reminded that MS isn't, because MS isn't just a physical thing, it's a psychological thing too. It gave me manodepressive disorder. That is one of the symptoms of MS. I never expected to have to deal with depression again, but lo and behold, there it is. But I'm dealing with it. I'm fucking doing it, aren't I? I'm fucking doing it. I'm still here. I'm still laughing. I'm still smiling. Even through everything that I've been, I'm still fucking smiling. I'm still doing it. I'm still fighting through it. I'm still here. And I'm still wanting to do shit. And that's what's important. If you ever develop an autoimmune disease or even something like cancer or anything else like that, it's so important to sit down and actually think and consider and be honest, being truly honest, not with other people, but yourself. That's what I did. I was just dishonest with myself for the longest time. I let fear and anxiety and pain rule me, but now I've never felt stronger, to be honest with you. I've never felt tougher. Even though I could be beaten up by a 9-year-old girl, I'm fairly sure, I've never felt so goddamn fucking strong in my entire life. And there are some people here that I can certainly thank for that. Absolutely. I'm not going to go through names and things, but there are some people who have withstood my particular brands of bullshit. You pay to watch me get beaten up by a 9-year-old girl. I'm sure there are people that would pay the little girl to do that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm doing a lot more now physically. I still have my struggles and I still have my pain. I still kind of deal with it. But that's okay. Everything's okay. And that I want to come back and I want to do all the things that I want to do and produce things that I'm proud of and have fun doing it. I kind of never want to go back to being the fucking monster that I fucking certainly became not long after even starting YouTube, let alone the fucking monster I became in 2020. Shit. And I've learned so much and considered so much. And there's a lot of regrets that I have, but it doesn't matter. It's in the past. It does matter, and I've learned from it, and that's what's important at the end of the day. And hopefully, listening to me jabber on, for anyone who kind of needed to hear anything that I've kind of said, then I have done my job as far as I'm concerned. If I have inspired anyone, if I have made someone feel like they're not alone as much, then I have achieved my job. Then I still have worth. I've not bedazzled the crutches, but now that I have done my final multiple sclerosis diary, now that I've gone through it and I've spoken about the regrets and the pain and the lessons learned, and effectively called myself out for basically everything that I did wrong. We can have a chin wag now. So if you're watching this after it's been uploaded and everything, just know that I'm now just going to be talking to the chat from here on out and kind of, not really kind of going much into detail about that kind of thing, Well, thank you very much, Mel, for telling me that. Oh, sorry. I didn't even fucking... Oh, thank you, Shadow, for the Streamlabs. Some say he's the bestest boy, whose milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard. Sorry, excuse me. Others say, why did it take Shadow so long to become a member for his best boy employee, using writing as an excuse? No doubt. All we know is he's called Irate Alex. Yeah, goddamn... Thank you, Shadow. You're goddamn fucking right. And I want to come back. I want to get back into the research things. I want to get back into scripting things. I want to get back into editing things. I just want to get back into making shit that I'm proud of at the end of the day, that I can sit here and proudly upload. And then I may not go back to premiering stuff. I may premiere something if I think that it's something that I'm super duper proud of, but if it's something that's taken me a particularly long time, then, I might do it then, but, and hello, Steph, as well, to the chat. Hello, everyone in the chat. Hello, Katie. Oh yeah, I absolutely. It's one thing I've noticed, Katie, about myself. You know how flies are attracted to like light things, and moths and stuff. Like when it comes to horrible dark things, I'm very much like a fly to shit. And thank you, Anne, as well. I use Twitter for my daily dose of Super Junior and Unique. I don't know what those are, but thank you, Anne. Thank you. And hello everyone else in the chat. Hello Terry. Hello Kerry. Hello Leah. Well, I do research streams. I had been wondering about the streams. I had been thinking about streams. I'm very unsure about live streams, to be honest with you. I'm very, very unsure about them. There's something about streaming. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy streaming. I have fun streaming, as you guys know. I think that it's personally one of the things that I am actually okay at doing. But I'm very unsure about it. I think I probably won't. And hello to you, Dax, as well. You upset me earlier, Dax, when you said what you said. When you said you miss me. That put a little bit of a lump in my throat there. I've become so sensitive in my old age. I'm soft as shit now. It's not necessarily, but no, I don't think that it's bad. I think that it's bad that it happened in the first place. But for me personally, I know I'm very gay. For me personally, I find dark things the most fascinating, and I am old. Yeah, MS. It made me a bitch. It made me a little bit sensitive to things. Although at the end of the day, that wouldn't be I've only ever cried twice on live streams. And that had nothing to do with me or anything else, really. It was because I was speaking about that little boy who had blastoma, and the only thing that he asked for was Christmas cards, and I couldn't physically read his parents' like GoFundMe thing because I just couldn't get through it both times without breaking, I do miss you. I miss you too, Dax. You shed a bitch tear too, not gonna lie. Well, it's because you left me, Dax. You left me to go do your job, which is fine and everything. I get it, dude. I get it. If you're old, Alex, I'm ancient. Well, you've seen how much white hair I have these days. My God, I have a lot of it. Sensitive to everything except the cold. Yeah. You know what's funny is I will say there is another benefit to having MS. So, being in pain all the time, my pain threshold has gotten rather fucking high. It's pretty interesting. Yes, this stream is being left up as a video on the channel. And yeah, parenthood also, it turns you into a bit of a softie as well, doesn't it, You're on third again, so there are mornings. Oh, what, you mean my morning time or your morning time? Will you be able to channel the not so sensitive side when Lord Bear? Yeah. Well, Lord Bear is horrible, isn't he? Lord Bear exists to allow me to express just that need to be horrible. You know what I mean? I've been wondering about Lord Bear as well recently, wondering what because Lord Bear, his purpose is to parody and satire things, his purpose is to make fun of things that are just kind of ridiculous and kind of out there, but I don't think I'd be able to do Lord Bear in the same way that I used to. I don't know. It's something that I have to consider. Imagine needing a character for that. Well, to be fair, right? Did you see the shit I posted on my Twitter the day I deleted it? If I hadn't deleted it, I would have got flagged down. Lord Bear exists for a different kind of reason, I suppose. I don't know. He is very much my filter. He's the only type of filter I can actually have in life as well. Hello to you, Buttered Crumpet. Hello to you. The sax. You know what's funny, Maddie, is that song is actually called Sax. Funnily enough, and I can't use it anymore because it just gets copyright fucking hit every time. Oh yeah, you muted me. And to be fair, that's I totally understand. I totally understand why you do it. I totally understand why you do it. Because I post some fucking honking things. Oh, I did anyway. Yeah, Lord Bear is saved. I think Lord Bear is saved for those days when I'm feeling really good about myself, and there is something that I want to talk about, but don't necessarily want to address it as a serious topic, you know. Thank you, Holofolla. All hail me, Lord Bear, the Alpha and Omega, the Big Dig Robo Bear, bitches. Hey, wenches, make me a fucking sandwich right now, and maybe put some of that cheeky, sneaky, deaky fun powder on your booty wooty for me to have a sniffy whiffy. Absolutely. You know, is a lot of fun to play. Sax fondling enough. Hey. Shake your face. My Twitter is now gone. So, hello, Sir Boy of Lard. Regarding the ignoring people thing, I fully understand it. Grief can cause you to turn inwards. I've been doing the same since my brother died. My condolences, of course, to you, sir. You've helped me realize I need to stop it as well. It is grief is grief. Grief is grief at the end of the day. It's something that everyone will experience regardless in life. I mean, we all lose people, don't we? And it's something that we all have to work through. And it's not easy to fight through these things. It's confusing. It's infuriating. It's incredibly upsetting. It's something that can take a long time. And one of the reasons why it's infuriating is because, well, we all like to think that we're stronger than we are, and that we sit there going, oh, we should be able to do this and we should be able to do that. But should we? Should we? And why is that then exactly? Why? What exactly? What makes you think that you're special? That you are better than everybody else? Why is it that your grief should last a week compared to someone else's that could last for 2 years or even longer? At the end of the day, one man's struggle does not negate another's. It just doesn't. There's no better or worse. That's one thing I've come to realize, is that there's no better or worse. There's no greater or lesser injustice. It's just things happen and we move forward. And that at the end of the day is all you can do. And hello, Vidal. Thank you. I hate that I'm missing this because of work. Please upload it. Yes, it's being made public later. This is being made public on this channel today. What if my struggle is negating your struggle? Well, in that case, you're infringing on my rights, sir, and I have a right to defend myself. So be prepared to have your shins knocked into with a scooty. All right. I have a Texas sticker on mine. Okay. I have Go Faster stripes. You're fucked now, Dax. There is only Batman. That's the only gender at this point as well. There's only one gender, and there's bring it on, ho. Fuck you, bitch. I'll fuck you up. I will reverse that shit. It's got a bar on the front of it. Truth, I still struggle from my brother passing 3 years ago, and anyone who has anything to say about it can come see me or fuck off. And I recommend fucking off for the most part, guys, by the way. I'm not joking there. I wouldn't take on my brother Jacob. Not even without the MS. It's as simple as that, really. But no, it's absolutely right. At the end of the day, why? That's really annoying. Why does one person's grief or struggle negate another's? It doesn't. One doesn't just get over shit. They don't. Acknowledging it and dealing with it and doing your best to not be toxic about it. Those are the tough things, you know. I absolutely acknowledge the fact that I have been a toxic cunt during this period and before. That I've been nasty to people who didn't deserve it, that I said things that I definitely regret saying, to people that I like, that I've treated some people like fucking shit. And that's not fair on them. We should all aim to handle our business, should we not? I'm of that mind. Yeah, should, and should is the worst word, and comparing oneself to another is also a really bad fucking idea. And that goes for a lot of things in life. Hell, even being a YouTuber, you should never compare yourself to another fucking person. There's just no point. There really isn't. What do you gain from that? Nothing. You can learn from other people. That's fine. Absolutely. But what's the point in comparing? There just isn't. There's no point in comparing. Yeah, comparing yourself to anyone else is just completely pointless. Yeah, exactly. One's best doesn't, is not comparable to someone else's. It really isn't. And that goes. There's like an old analogy, and I can't remember it inside and out. But it's like, you can't expect a fish to climb a fucking tree. You know what I mean? Like, you can't teach a fucking fish to climb a fucking tree, because labeling everyone and tarring everyone with the same brush. What's the point in that when we're all very fucking different creatures? There's just no point to it. And when you compare yourself to others, all you do is hurt yourself. That's all you do. All you do is hurt yourself. And the thing is, what's funny as well? The most irritating thing, I think, for me, having MS and stuff, has been the fact that I have known the answers to the many questions I kept asking myself, but just refused to believe them. Who you calling a skank hooker? I will push you down a flight of fucking stairs, Dax. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just threatening Dax. You guys don't mind, I'm sure. No, you can't compare yourself to another when your own tits aren't the same. Exactly, you can't. Oh my god. Yeah. You know bipolar noir. You know exactly what I'm saying. Like, I've heard the saying before. I can't exactly remember it inside and out, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. Like, you can't tar yourself with the same brush that you yourself tar other people with. Everyone's different, dude, and everyone deals with their own shit in their own time, and that's okay. But I will continue doing what I'm doing, as I said. I will continue doing what I'm doing and trying to make this fun again, and trying to keep on top of myself and looking after myself. And I will try to get back to doing things, like the ASMR channel, for example. I will get back to that eventually. I will actually make content that I'm very proud of and talk about, I will do the audiobook stuff. I will do a whole series of things that I will get around to doing. I will. As soon as I'm ready. As someone with newly diagnosed oh my god, that with abscess, I share some of your pain and understand your mental state. Well, I'm very sorry that you've been diagnosed with that recently. You're very brave to say it out loud. I don't consider myself to be brave. I really don't. I actually consider myself to be somewhat of a fucking coward, to be honest with you. The fact that it took me as long as it did to be as open and honest about it, and to not free myself from my own bullshit. But diverticulitis. Thank you for breaking the word down for me, Jacob. I struggle with the words and the letters and the pronunciation of things. And thank you, Shadow. Being inspired by someone else is great. Allows you to have a foundation in which you want to build upon. Absolutely. I'm inspired by so many people. Comparing yourself to someone else is ultimately pointless, breeding only jealousy. Yeah, and I absolutely admit to being a spiteful, envious, jealous prick. 100%. And thank you, Isolationist, as well. I want you to read Whoreson as an audiobook. It's great. I mean, I fucking would. I'm open to a lot of things, especially something that would make me laugh personally. Yeah, this was my pace, which is exceedingly slow. Exceedingly slow, but at the same time, that's okay, isn't it? That's okay. I think that's okay. I think that's all right, to be honest with you. I think that's okay. And by the way, guys, like, if there are any recommendations for, like, me making an audiobook, obviously it would have to be something that's copyright free. Ideally something that's, you know, not boring, something that's a bit funny, or maybe something that's even a bit nerdy. I'm absolutely open to suggestions. Please don't be offended if I don't take your suggestion, or, you know, but I am open to suggestions and things like that. Just as I'm always open to suggestions about true crime, or horror cows, or any of the other types of videos that I've said I want to do. You know, I've said I want to do a lot of different things. You know, the dark history, dark science, cult stuff, like lesser known cults. You know, or, you know, true crime, horror cows, media analysis. Like, I'm always open to suggestions for any of that type of stuff. But, you know, please don't take offense to me, like, if I, you know, Rent Boy's fantastic book. I feel like I need some more context. As well, the book would have to be royalty free as well, because, you know, I can't just take anyone's book and read it on my channel. I'd get hit with an incredible fucking copyright strike. And I mean, you know, like the whole read along kind of like thing. I think that's a kind of cool way to do something, isn't it? To kind of like read the book, read something, analyze it, and then talk about it on video, and then I don't know. We'll see how we go. Because I used to read books all the time, you know. Believe it or not, as dumb as I am, I actually used to read quite a lot back in the day. But guys, I am gonna go. I wanted to keep this relatively short, and an hour and a half is quite short for me, I suppose. Just know that for those who give a fuck, I am okay. I'm doing a lot better. I'm doing a lot better on my top box. I'm moving myself forward. I'm going to be coming back soon. Irate Book Club, whoever had that on their bingo card is a damn lie. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Oh, dear. Are you sitting comfortably? Then we shall begin. I am feeling well, thank you, Buddha Betch. I hope you're well too. I hope everyone has a lovely day. I'm gonna end the stream like I always do by playing one of the diss tracks, and then I hope you guys have a lovely Friday, a lovely weekend. Please continue to look after yourselves, be kind to yourselves, be honest with yourselves, and you know, don't do anything that I wouldn't do, which doesn't leave a lot of things open. But have a good one, guys. I shall play a song. I shall play a sing song. I don't know what one to play though. Yeah, we'll have this one. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's a Lord Bear remix, yes! I don't like you, Amberlynn, or you too, Foodie Booty. Stop bloody eating! Stop eating lasagna and everything else. That's not cramp or acid reflux, it's a stroke you failed. Queen of false flagging, more like Queen Dick. I don't really understand why BB puts up with your shit. Chantal ate a family meal fit for 23. She ate the family too. 3 Muslims and a Jew. Quite frankly, as you're better, I can't take this peasant shit. Grab the blunderbuss Mercedes, let's blast this bitch! Bitch, stop eating! Bitch, stop eating! That wasn't a kick out, it was Alex's finger! Bitch, stop eating! Bitch, stop eating! That wasn't a white chocolate cake, that was someone's baby! Bitch, stop eating! Bitch, stop eating! That wasn't a kick out, it was Alex's finger! Bitch, stop eating! Bitch, stop eating! That That wasn't a white chocolate cake, that was someone's baby. I don't know why you'd wanna be a filthy peasant, no. I don't know why you'd wanna be a fat disgusting oaf. What's it like getting wrecked by a sexy English bear? Fly hat, lips, monocles, shampoo and conditioned hair. Mukbang show, what the fuck is that even supposed to mean? Your formal speaking sounds like it comes from the stroke community. One heart disease, one stroke for you, one diabetes, cankles. Stop eating so much sugar, get out of the dumpster. Bitch, stop eating, bitch, stop eating. That wasn't a Kit Kat, it was Alex's finger. Bitch, stop eating, bitch, stop eating. That wasn't a white chocolate cake, that was someone's baby. Bitch, stop eating, bitch, stop eating. That wasn't a Kit Kat, it was Alex's finger. Bitch, stop eating, bitch, stop eating. That wasn't a white chocolate cake, that was someone's baby.
Amber Lynn, when was the last time you saw your sweaty toes? Why do you feel the need to be a giant sweaty hoe? Don't be mad, fitting in the shower should raise concern. Dirty minge, gangrene thighs, shining skin, mate, Hey Laura, wonder how long until you consume that dog. Your pussy and your thighs make me lose faith that there is a God. Not sure who's worse, you or Chantel. I give up on this song. And you, to be honest, mate.
Bitch, stop eating, bitch, stop eating. That wasn't a Kit Kat, it was Alex's finger. Bitch, stop eating, bitch, stop eating. That wasn't a white chocolate cake, that was someone's baby. Bitch, stop eating, bitch, stop eating. That wasn't a Kit Kat, it was Alex's finger. Bitch, stop eating, bitch, stop eating. That wasn't a white chocolate cake, that was someone's baby. Yeah, bitches, that's right, Lord Bear, the Alpha and Omega. Woo! I ruined PewDiePie's song again. Oh dear.